It's a bit of a no-brainer that since I was 5 years old, I just knew that I was going to be in the helping professions. I mean, my grandparents were Oriental medicine practitioners. My brother has become an educator as well as a doctor. My sister, a teacher. And it wasn't until recently that I realized that I really had to also become an author and a speaker to help people maximize the joys and minimize the pains of being in the helping professions. Our world is changing so rapidly. Technologies can become irrelevant while we're sleeping. Everyone but everyone seems to want a jump start to know how to succeed. They want to find a pathway. But it takes an awakened artist to navigate it all because despite all these changes, you know what? People are still people. You can still fall apart by the death of a loved one. You can still seethe with anger and depression over life's little injustices. I've been a private practice counselor and coach since 2000. I moved my practice to Pioneer Square in 2010, and I've really been happy here, helping people, usually one at a time or two at a time or small family. The only thing I wanted to change is that I want to be able to help more people in the same amount of time. And that's part of the reason why I want to write this book, Design Your Practice, so I can help more people do what they love. Much of the book, Designing Your Practice, is going to be about making a new pathway for doing what you do. What I hope that Designing Your Practice will do for small business owners, for healthcare professionals and other helping professionals, educators, coaches, therapists, is really help, one, for them to find their artist within. And two, I also hope that it will help them realize that oftentimes we end up spending a lot of time answering the wrong question. See, most of us got into what we were doing because we wanted to help people. And then somewhere along the way, the models that we've been given and the directives that have been forced upon us, either by the institutions that we came to serve, are having us answer the wrong questions. We want to have more and more power returned to us to do the very things that we thought we went into these practices for, to help people, to help them grow, to help them learn, to help them become who they were meant to be. And when we start making it too much of just a business and a bottom line, we lose sight of where we're going. And that's why I put on my Kickstarter campaign that we really need this image of a compass to find where true north is again, especially if we've lost our way. And I really think that we have. There's a quote from Albert Einstein that says that if we want to find the solutions to our problems, we actually have to take responsibility for having created them. I've curated stories and data that inspire people to think differently about the ways they observe, connect with, and ultimately love. I'm kind of known as a great storyteller. I mean, you can't not be if you're an artist and a therapist and a blogger and a tech enthusiast. And I happen to live in one of the most beautiful and healthy cities to live in America, just Seattle, Washington. From there, I travel, and the world ends up being my playground. An awakened artist witnesses humanity and beauty absolutely everywhere. So why should you give to my Kickstarter campaign? Well, because I know that there are no quick fixes, and raising funds to professionally publish a book that I'm proud to hand to people is going to take about 10 grand. And you might have noticed that performance artists like myself, although this is a side profession, along with my day job, is probably not going to get me that $10,000 by myself. And so I really need you. Now, I'd love for you to be able to give it to say, oh, here's this cute, really pretty girl who's smart and funny and has traveled the world and has talked about her projects and writing, and let's give to her. But I know that that's not enough credibility. And I'll be honest and say that if my Kickstarter campaign is not as successful as I'd like it to be, I'm not going to cry, although perhaps my cat will, because you see, I have heavily employed him to be my publicist. He runs my Twitter feed. So if you give to my Kickstarter campaign, I can allow my cat to retire forever. Thank you.